So waking up isn't about being a morally good person. It's also not about what you do in your life. It is much better. It is basically, how should I say this? I also feel like when you are awake on a level that it has impacts on your physical experience, then that's the beginning of true manifestation. It's not a kind of manifestation where you decide what comes into your life, but you become like an attractor. You have this gravity, because what do I even mean when I say awakening? Usually when we're talking about awakening, or when you're googling it and when you watch videos about it, then it's all about consciousness. But a reasonable person would ask, like, why is consciousness even important? Like, what's the goal behind it? It's not just about realizing that you're consciousness, it's also about realizing that your true place is a place of safety. And when you realize that, then your body will adapt to that. And then you will have a visceral experience of safety, and then you are no longer drawn to things that promise you safety. So you're no longer a slave. You're no longer searching or seeking for approval or control or love or money, because the reason why we're looking for those things is because they attract us, because we think that when we have them, we'll feel safe, we'll feel comfortable, we'll feel good. But when you're no longer dependent on those things, then you're no longer a slave to them. So those things are no longer having this gravitational force. You're no longer sucked in by those things, and that's the opposite way. It goes the opposite way now. You're the thing that is attracting, not because, and you're not deciding what you want to attract, but you're blissed out, you're serene, and all of a sudden you don't need anything, but life just becomes a fun experience, because there's nothing outside of your experience that you want, that you need in order to feel complete, because you understand now how you are able to have a sense of feeling complete just for yourself. You can just have that experience. That's just the underlying experience. This feeling of I'm complete and I don't need anything in order to feel like that. That is what I like to call integrated awakening. It's when you're not just identified with the space that is looking at the pain, but this space realizes that it is immortal, it cannot be threatened, and then the body is adapting to that understanding that, okay, I am safe no matter where I am. And that means that I'm no longer producing fear. I'm no longer producing this tendency to seek conflict or to see threat everywhere. You're no longer in survival mode. You see? Because normally we humans, we are stuck in we're like even worse than animals, because animals are not always in the survival mechanism. They're enjoying life. They're just in a survival mechanism when they have an actual threat. But we humans, we can be in a cozy place. We have four walls around us. We are safe, factually, but we don't feel safe. So it's like we're even lower than animals. It's like we're always in this state in which we fear potential threat, because we have memory, and memory is always telling us that there could be something that's happening, we never know. So, and that's the thing that's like the hell in you. So, and there's a possibility to discover heaven in you. You can come out of survival as soon as you understand that you are safe. And it's not just a mental understanding, as long as the body doesn't feel safe, then it's just a mental understanding. If the body feel like Nisargadatta, I don't understand. He was clearly still agitated. People say he was enlightened, and I'm just supposed to accept that, but I don't. I think he understood that he is pure consciousness, but his body wasn't feeling safe. If I'm looking at him, I don't see any integration. Maybe I'm in the wrong, but if you ask me, I think integration is the part of awakening that is actually going to give you the feeling of now it all makes sense. Because it's when you are actually experiencing a sense of safety, a sense of now I don't need any substance or gratification or love or approval from the outside in order to feel complete, but it's just I can relax until the ego dies, and then there's just an infinite space of love, and it's a bodily experience that comes as a consequence of knowing that you're pure awareness. So you're not, and there are two ways in which you can experience pure awareness. One way is to just know that you're awareness, and then you're just kind of like avoiding every form that comes, everything that comes in the form of pain or suffering. So you're just blocking that out. You're just saying, I'm pure awareness, I don't want to feel that. Or maybe that's just part of the experience, but I'm not that. So you're just like, there's still a duality. But as soon as you're like, I'm pure awareness, and there is suffering also in this awareness, and it consists of awareness, and then there's a kind of integration where you're like, that's allowed. So you can even feel the bodily sensation of suffering, and that's when the door can open to actually heal. So I'm not saying what I'm supposed to say, but I'm just saying what I'm experiencing. I'm talking from my experience. I'm sorry for those noises outside. So here's also something that I want to say. I think breath work is a good thing, but it's tricky. You shouldn't. When you're using breath work in order to get somewhere, you automatically become a slave. That's why Krishnamurti was talking about all these techniques, and that they turn you into a slave. That you shouldn't do techniques. So that's the catch. It's like when you have experienced a lot of threatening things, then the body is going to store that in the muscles. It's a physical thing. It's not a spiritual thing for people who are not so much into woo-woo words. It's a physical thing. You experience something, your brain is registering it, and it's storing this energy in the body. And then when you're no longer identified with all these feelings, because you know that you're pure awareness, then slowly something can change internally. But I think that there are some people, this energy, this stuck energy is so hardened that just witnessing isn't enough. You need to bring in some movement through breath, because that can loosen this tension that you have inside of you, and give you a way through which you can actually feel a relief. That's why breath work is a good thing. But as soon as you're saying, I need breath work, I need to do more breath work, I need to go deeper and deeper and deeper, then you're on the way again. So when you say breath work or just breathing techniques, that sounds like something that you do in order to get somewhere. Then you're on a path, and then you're a slave to the path. But when you understand that it's all about just arriving here and giving your body the signal that it is safe here, then you can use breath not as a path, but as a tool to signal to your body that you're already here. So that's the difference. You shouldn't think that you're on a path. You must understand that you're here already, and right now you are already safe. Now the only thing that you need to do is to teach your body that it is safe, until it becomes a visceral experience. And then what happens is the thing that people have called enlightenment, is that you relax so much until you are experiencing death. You're dying. You're dying to everything that's known. It's a very relaxing state to be in. And there's no one there anymore. The thing that feels like I is basically a security program. It's like an antivirus program that is always alert and trying to like find the threat. Where's the next possible threat coming from? And when you're so feeling so safe and you're relaxing so much, then that security guard, that program in you is no longer active, and there is just an ocean of bliss and love. That's what I want people to experience, because it would be a better world. Yeah.